This week, we're bringing you G20 All Access. Now, world leaders are getting ready to head to St. Petersburg, Russia for the G20 summit. It's the premier forum for economic discussions about financial problems that affect the world and matter to us right here in Northwest Pennsylvania. Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro is in Russia talking to our local members of Congress.
We're here in St. Petersburg because this is the first time since the Great Recession that world leaders are dealing with an economy that's stable enough to allow them to engage in talks that might actually lead to reform. The G20 agenda is wide-ranging, but I talked to our local lawmakers about what they say will have the biggest impact on your life. This is a city known for its churches, palaces, monuments, and bridges. But right now, our lens is focused on the world's most powerful leaders, meeting here in St. Petersburg for the G20 summit. And they have their work cut out for them.
They've got to be very direct in confronting their counterparts in these other countries where there's cheating, where there's manipulation, where there's an effort to undermine our workers.
Here are the goals for this year's G20. Growth through quality jobs and investment, trust and transparency, and effective regulation. Senator Bob Casey says we must participate in a real way, pushing hard on the issues that impact our workers and our economy.
When China cheats on currency, we lose Pennsylvania jobs. It's really that direct and that immediate.
Casey says we need to learn from our mistakes. He points to the steel, garment, and tool and die industry in Pennsylvania. Entire plants and generations of workers wiped out by unfair foreign competition.
We don't have, in my judgment, it's my opinion, don't have a real United States trade policy. And if you don't have a policy, we go into trade discussions or even into trade agreements at a disadvantage.
G20 nations make up 2/3 of the world's population and 80% of international global trade. But the group of leaders is thought to be small enough to still be an effective decision-making body. Congressman Mike Kelly says out-of-control spending at home is getting in the way of our success overseas. And he's asking President Obama to be more forceful in his dealings with foreign leaders at the G20.
We are the leaders of the free world. Our relevance has been lowered down to a point where we get snubbed by people like Putin, the Chinese, and other people that just really don't seem to care about the rule of law.
Our lawmakers tell me they think our strength as a nation lies in our workforce and ability to innovate. And they're hopeful that with a better trade policy and aggressive enforcement of international regulations, our economy will change. And it all starts here in St. Petersburg.
We really are in the best position we've ever been in, not just to participate in a global economy, but to dominate a world economy.
President Obama will be meeting with world leaders here despite tensions with Russia and amid an escalating situation in Syria. But the White House tells us the president will remain focused on the types of discussions that our local lawmakers say are imperative to keeping our economy on track. Reporting in St. Petersburg, Russia, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
Thanks, Jacqueline. And Rob Wilson will have your full forecast coming up after this quick break.